Ouch! Baby, do it slowly. He hissed at Wyan, who was applying ointment on his cuts and bruise that he got while fighting with someone. Shut up. Don't tell me what to do. She snapped at him. He leaned closer to her and rubbed her cheek against her. She stopped and shot a deep breath at his sudden action. Are you angry? Of course not. Why would I? I like it when you fight every other day. She mocked him, putting bandage on his wounded knuckles. You know how much injured that boy is? He backed off, his eyes searching for her. He scoffed. He deserves it. He dared to propose you. If he or any other boy try to hit on you, I won't spare any of them. You are mine. Possessiveness was evident in his voice as he said, looking deadly in her eyes. Wyan cupped his face in her hands. Did I say yes to him? No, he replied grumpily, averting his eyes away from her. Look at me. He huffed annoyingly, still not looking at her. She pressed his face between her hands, which made him pout. Look at me, you big grumpy baby. He sighed, finally looking at her, and she showed her big smile to him. I am yours, just like you are mine. You don't have to go around hitting people. He held her hands, removing them from his face. Wyan, you don't know what kind of dirty things he was spitting about you just because you said no to him. I'll bear anything but a word against you, and I'm not sorry or guilty about anything I did. As I said, he deserves every bit of it. She smiled and pecked his cheek. How come I am so lucky to have you? The feelings are mutual, Mrs. Park. Wyan blushed at the name given by him. We aren't married, Jimin. I'm still Levi. No, the day you accepted my proposal, you became Mrs. Park. Remember, I asked you to be my wife, not my girlfriend. You are so certain about me being your wife. She squealed when he picked her up and settled her on his lap effortlessly. Of course I am. I am not the one to go around dating different women on different day. You are my first and you will be the last one, no one else. You know what? What? I love you so very much. She pecked his chin. He chuckled at her cute confession. I love you too, so very much. He pecked her nose and they both burst out in loud laughter. Not long after, they heard the bell ringing, indicating that the lunch break was over. Wine tried to get off his lap, but he tightened his grip. Let go of me, Jimin. Other students will be coming soon. We are bunking the remaining classes. And I don't want to argue over this, he quickly added as he saw her opening her mouth to protest. She sighed in defeat. Fine, but where will we go? At my place. I just want to relax in your arms. He snuggled into her neck and inhaled her scent, planting few kisses there. Let's go then. Jimin, let me go, she said, trying to free herself from him, who was holding her close to himself, lying down on his bed. No, I want to cuddle. It's 6 in the evening. We have been cuddling for almost 4 hours now. I have to go home. No, stay here with me. I don't feel like leaving you. She sighed. Jimin, you know I can't stay here. What will I say to my parents? Tell them you are with your husband. They didn't know I have a boyfriend. I didn't tell them yet. When will you then? It's been more than 1 year. I will, at the right time. Now come on, let go of me. He shook his head and climbed on top of her, completely lying down on her body. Jimin, what are you doing? Please don't go. Tell them you are staying over at your friend's place. They know that I don't hold any friendship with anyone to stay over for a night. I'm not letting you go. No, no, no. He shook his head and buried his face in the crook of her neck. Wyan brought her one hand to his head, massaging his scalp, knowing how much he loved it, while her other hand was busy rubbing his back. Jimin, no. Jimin, don't be stubborn. Let me go now. I promise I will spend my whole day with you tomorrow, just like you want. She stated as softly as possible. Try to understand, baby. She kissed his head multiple times, which made him loosen his grip. He rolled off her body and lay beside her. She turned towards him and kissed all over his face. Bye. I love you. He just hummed and turned his back to her. She frowned her eyebrows at his odd behavior. She got off the bed. Aren't you going to sing me off? No. Go now or else I won't let you go. Wyan sighed and went away, glancing at his figure for the last time. Being tired of tossing and turning, he cursed and kicked the blanket off his body. He got down on his feet and moved towards the big glass window. It's been more than 7 hours since Wyan left. He had been trying to sleep, but all in vain. He didn't know why, but he was missing her too much. He just wanted her near him, in his arms. He closed his eyes, trying to get his mind off her thoughts, but Wyan's face appeared. He walked in his closet and changed his clothes. Grabbing his car keys and wallet, he made his way out of his apartment towards Wyan home. Wow, what a lucky man I am. Now I have to sneak in my own wife's home to meet her. But which is Wyan's room? He looked around the house carefully when he found that one room was lit. This is definitely Wyan's room. She may be awake watching those dramas and drooling over these men. She is going to get punished by me for sure. But how will I climb there? He murmured to himself and looked around to find something. His eyes lit up when he found a ladder there. Wow, looks like God is also with me today. He picked the ladder and adjusted it to the room's balcony. He climbed up the ladder and jumped in the balcony. He peeped inside from the glass door. Wyan was sleeping, covering herself from head to toe. The room lights were on. He shook his head at her carelessness. He held the doorknob and twisted it, and it was open. This girl is so careless. What if someone sneaked in? He came inside the room, locking the balcony door behind him. He smiled and went near the bed. He jumped on the bed and hugged the person whom he assumed as Wyan. He pulled her closer to himself. I missed you. He snuggled more into her and frowned his eyebrows. Do you wear different perfume at night? And your body has turned masculine. He shrugged off and threw his leg on the person. I love you. He flinched when he heard a loud scream from behind. He looked behind to find a shocked woman covering her mouth. He blinked his eyes in confusion. He looked back at the person who just removed the blanket from his face. Now it was his turn to scream. Wyan was double. He was in utter shock. The person and Jimin stared at each other when a loud cry gained their attention. You are cheating on me. I never knew you were a... What should I do now? The woman who was Wyan's mother cried dramatically, holding her head while Jimin had a blank face. He slowly brought his hand to the person's face and touched the stubble gently. I never knew you turned into a man at night. But don't worry, I still love you. The woman cried louder. My husband is... Jimin wasn't paying attention to her. He was just staring at the man who was looking at the wailing woman with a blank face. Are you okay, Wyan, baby? I am not Wyan. Then why do you look like her? I don't look like her. She looks like me. Because I am her father. He gritted out with big eyes. Oh, hi, father-in-law. It's really nice to meet you finally. But I need my wife now. Where's my wife? Wyan's father gaped at him in disbelief. The audacity of this boy to sneak into his house, make his wife cry, and act so cool about the situation. Their attention diverted to a worried Wyan who just passed inside the room. What happened? I heard some. Her eyes widened as she saw Jimin, who smiled and waved his hand. Then she noticed the chaos in the room. Her mother was crying near bathroom door. Her father and Jimin was sitting on the bed together. Together? She ran to her mother. Mom, what happened? Why are you crying? Your dad cheated me. I went to use the restroom, but when I came back, this boy was hugging him, and he even said I love you to him. Vine blinked her eyes, processing what her mother just said. Wait, mother in law, I think there is some confusion. I hugged him thinking that he is Vine. She instantly stopped crying and looked at him. So he's not cheating on me? No, I guess. She smiled brightly, showing her teeth. Wow, mood swings. Jimin got off the bed and came to Vine and hugged her. I missed you, wifey. Her pupils enlarged at his sudden action. She looked at her father, who was looking at her with a blank face, and her mother was clueless about everything. Vine gently pushed him off her body. Who is he, Vine? I am her husband and your son in law, barked Jimin. What is he saying, Vine? And here comes the stern voice of typical Asian father. Dad, he is my boyfriend. But I'm your husband, he mumbled lowly with a pout while one glared at him to shut up. How long has all this been going on? 1 year, she murmured slowly as she was scared. And you didn't even care to tell us about it, he stated sternly, which made her flinch. I'm sorry. Your sorry doesn't change anything. He glared at her when Jimin pulled her behind his back. I respect you so much, father in law, but I don't appreciate you talking to my wife like that. She is my daughter, he glared at Jimin. She is my wife. Jimin glared back with the same intensity. What if I don't accept your relationship? You have to. You don't have any other option. Are you challenging me? I'm just stating facts. He shrugged his shoulder, hugging Wine by her shoulder. Relax, baby. I'm here. He cooed at her, who was looking tensed about the current situation. Wine's mother clapped her hand excitedly. Your father was also like him. He was the hot and cool dude of our time. She smiled, reminiscing the old memories. He fought with my father to get me, but now he's just old grumpy grandpa. She scolded her husband, who glared at her. Jimin laughed loudly while one pressed her lips to control her laughter. You can't shut your mouth, can you? See? Always grumpy and annoying. Stop being a barrier in my daughter's relationship. I like my son in law. Mom. He hugged Vian's mother, smirking at her father, who was glaring at them. Mom, can I stay over? I missed Vian. He whined in front of her, while Vian gaped at him. Of course, Vian, take him to your room. No. Stop being so moody and let the kids enjoy. Go, kids. Let's go, baby. He wrapped his hand around her shoulder and waved at her father. Bye, my dear father in law. Vine and Jimmy left from there. Vine's mother locked the door and turned to her husband, smiling beautifully. She walked towards the bed and sat beside him. Honey, I missed your bad boy version, she said, leaning her head on his shoulder. Why? I am grumpy, Grandpa. She sat straight and looked at him. Honey, I'm sorry. I just got carried away with emotions. Don't be angry. He huffed and looked away. Vi's mother smiled mischievously and shifted closer to him. She poked his arm. If you do something to make me believe that you are my same cool bad boy boyfriend, then maybe I'll change my mind. He craned his neck and looked at her, smirking. He grabbed her and pinned her on the bed, hovering over her. She looked at him in shock. Is that so? What are you? Let me show you how much of a key I am. Wyan and Jamin were watching a movie, cuddling on her bed. He paused the movie hearing some weird noises. Ryan's eyes widened while Jimin smoked. Damn, father-in-law is wild. Ryan hit on his shoulder. Shut up. Let's go. Where? To your parents' room. Are you crazy? We shouldn't disturb them. I need to give something to my father-in-law. What? He reached for his wallet and took out. Why do you have this? I always have this in my wallet in case things get hot when you. Wan looked at him in disbelief. You are going to give this to my father? No, are you mad? Let's go, Wan. Stop being a scaredy cat. He dragged her and moved towards their room, the noise getting more clear. Jimin banged on the door, smirking devilishly. The noise stopped abruptly. What? He shouted irritatingly with his heavy voice. It's me, father-in-law. Her father groaned with annoyance which made them giggle. What do you want now? I am here to give you something. He slid from the space beneath the door. They heard footsteps approaching the door, and her father shouted, Stay away from my daughter. You better focus on your wife. I can take care of mine. And don't forget to use it. My wife doesn't want any siblings. He giggled and ran away from there with Juan. You brat, come back here. Stay away from my daughter. Let them be and you better come back here. And guess what? No one slept that night.